Flying? You'd think it's as simple as grabbing a ticket, hauling your suitcase to the airport, and soaring off into the sky. But hold up, behind every flight, there's a whole universe of secrets and tricks that could save you a chunk of cash and make your trip smoother than a first-class upgrade. From the sneaky ways airports nickel and dime you to the clever little hacks that'll have you chilling at 30,000 feet, we're spilling it all. Funny, surprising, and downright useful. Stick around, because these are the airport secrets they don't want you to know. Trust me, by the end, you'll be ready to outsmart your next trip and maybe even shock yourself with what's been hiding in plain sight. Now let's talk about the moment you're most likely to blow your cash. The golden hour. Picture this. You've dodged the am I gonna miss it panic. You're parked at the gate with time to kill, and suddenly, you're a shopping machine. Congrats, you've hit the airport's secret jackpot hour. That jittery stress is gone, your guard's down, and those shiny stores and overpriced bars are calling your name. Experts say this is when your wallet's basically begging to be emptied. Your brain's like, I've earned this. Next thing you know, you're shelling out triple for a sad sandwich in a plastic box or eyeing a duty-free bag because, hey, you deserve it. Airports live for this. They've turned that hour into a cash-printing frenzy, raking in millions like it's the Super Bowl of shopping. And they're pros at reeling you in. Free champagne at the fancy boutique? Oh, I'll just browse, you say? Yeah, good luck walking out empty-handed. At London's Heathrow, they're playing 4D chess with your wallet, swapping out the shelves based on who's flying through. A flight full of Americans lands? They roll out Apple gadgets, Levi's jeans, those giant Reese's packs you can't resist. Middle Eastern travelers strolling in? Bam! Gold jewelry, oud perfumes, luxe silk scarves screaming, buy me. It's like they've got your shopping cravings mapped out to a T. Plus, some airports throw in loyalty perks, fly a bunch, spend a ton, score freebies. Pure genius, right? So you might have snagged that $50 flight steal, but don't kid yourself. By the time you're sipping a $15 cocktail and clutching a souvenir mug, that savings toast. Sneaky as heck, totally brilliant, and now you're in on it. Beat them at their game. Stash your cards, stick to a $5 cash limit, let them try to crack that fortress. All right, let's bust a big airport myth wide open. Duty-free shopping. You see that tax-free sign and think, jackpot, I'm saving big. Oh, buddy, pump the brakes. It's not the bargain bonanza you're dreaming of. Sure, you're skipping the tax man, but don't expect to waltz out with a steal. The folks at CBS dropped a truth bomb. Just because they could slash prices doesn't mean they will. Picture this. Back in 2015, UK travelers got hit with a reality check when investigators caught duty-free shops playing dirty. They'd slap a no-tax sticker on stuff, hype it up like you're winning, but the price? Same as ever. That tax they dodged snuck right into their cash register while you're left holding the bag. Full price, zero savings. Talk about a gut punch. And even when they're not pulling that shady switcheroo, duty-free's not some magic money saver. Turns out, only a couple things, like dirt-cheap liquor or cut-rate smokes, actually deliver the wow, what a deal vibes. Got your eye on a shiny new phone, fancy perfume, or designer watch? Brace yourself. Those might cost more than outside the terminal. Yep, you heard that right. Sometimes you'd be better off waiting till you land and hitting up a regular shop. Unless you're planning to guzzle whiskey like it's water or puff through a carton of cigs, don't bank on duty-free padding your wallet. It's a coin toss at best. And let's be real, the airport's usually the one cashing out. Here's your shield. Snap a quick pic of the price tag. Google it on the spot. 5 seconds, and you'll know if it's a ripoff. Outsmart the hype and keep your cash where it belongs. Ever wonder what drives people nuts at the airport? A survey from the Global Flow channel asked, what annoys you the most when traveling through an airport? And guess what topped the list? Long security lines. Hands down the biggest headache for travelers. No surprise there. Picture this. You're stuck in that soul-crushing queue, inching along, kicking off your shoes, yanking off your belt, fumbling with the scanner, all while the clock ticks and your patience evaporates. It's a total nightmare. But here's a little secret that could save your sanity. At some bigger airports, there are sneaky, lesser-known security checkpoints that'll have you sailing through before the main lines even budged. These aren't always front and center. Think side terminals, upper floors, or spots the average traveler doesn't wander to. Most folks just herd into the main checkpoint near check-in because it's right there, screaming, "Line up here!" But if you're willing to play detective, peek at the airport map, or chat up a staff member, you might stumble on a quieter gate across the terminal or tucked away in a corner with barely a soul in sight. Boom. You're breezing through while everyone else is still unlacing their sneakers. Take a place like Denver International. It's got over a dozen security lanes spread across 3 levels. Everyone jams the main south checkpoint, but the north one or the bridge to Concourse A. Sometimes it's a ghost town. Or think about Seattle-Tacoma. Checkpoint 5 near the parking garage can be a hidden gem when the central lines are a zoo. Even at massive hubs like Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson, there's a domestic terminal west checkpoint that's often less chaotic than the main drag. The trick? Scope out the layout ahead of time. Most airports have maps online or on their apps, or just ask a worker, "Hey, any quieter spots to get through?" They're usually in the know and might point you to a shortcut. So next time you're staring down a security line longer than a CVS receipt, don't just groan and join the herd. Ask around. Any faster options? Or pull up that map on your phone. You might score a ninja-level workaround, leaving you with extra time to kick back with a coffee. Watch that golden hour we talked about, instead of sweating it out in line. Quick feet win the game, and you'll look like the smartest traveler in the room. You know the airport security dance by heart, right? Shoes off, bling off, laptop out, and bam, posing for that full-body X-ray like a supermodel in a creepy booth. It's all supposed to keep the bad stuff off planes, courtesy of your TSA pals. But here's the kicker. It's a total flop sometimes. Back in 2015, undercover Homeland Security ninjas tested TSA. Guess what? They flunked 95% of the time. Out of 70 sneaky sting ops, TSA missed weapons 67 times, including a fake bomb taped to some dude's back like a backpack from hell. Yep, that's your crack security team. Heads hit the chopping block fast, but don't get comfy. Things didn't exactly turn around. Flash to 2017 at JFK. 11 passengers sashayed right past security like it was a free-for-all parade. No scanners, no pat-downs, nada. They hopped on their flights before TSA blinked, and get this, their fix was, "Oh, we'll check them when they land." Brilliant. And that was hot off the heels of a dozen TSA agents getting busted for allegedly sneaking cocaine between Puerto Rico and the States. Like what? So next time they nab your toothpaste for being dangerous, just smile and wonder, are these the same geniuses letting bombs and drugs slip by? So, while you're smirking at TSA snagging your toothpaste, thinking they're the airport's tough guy guardians, here's a twist that'll make you clutch your carry-on tighter. Some of those watchdogs might be looting your stuff instead. Yep, you're trusting the pilot won't be 3 sheets to the wind, the flight attendant won't douse you with boiling tea, and the ground crew won't turn your suitcase into their personal treasure chest. Hate to break it to you, but that last one? Not always a safe bet. Airport workers, security screeners, baggage handlers, you name it, have been caught red-handed snagging stuff like it's a free-for-all flea market. Think I'm exaggerating? Check this. Between 2003 and 2012, over 380 TSA agents got the boot for swiping gear from travelers' bags. One guy, Pythias Brown at Newark, turned it into a 4-year heist marathon, raked in over $800,000 worth of gadgets and goodies before they nabbed him. His excuse? Everyone just looked the other way, like it was open season on your luggage. And get this, they've got tricks up their sleeves. Brown spilled the beans. They'd peek at X-ray scans to scope out the juiciest targets, your camera, your cash, your shiny toys, then pounce when no one's watching. It's not just the badge wearers either. In 2015, cameras caught baggage handlers in Miami rummaging through checked bags like kids in a candy store. Then there's the 2017 gem. An Orlando TSA agent pickpocketed cash during a pat-down right under the guy's nose. The numbers don't lie. Out of over 30,000 items travelers reported missing between 2010 and 2014, most vanished from checked bags, with a chunk disappearing at security checkpoints. Yep, the thief might be the one waving the wand. So, how do you dodge this baggage banditry? Here's the harsh but smart play. Act like you've got nothing worth taking. Leave the pricey stuff, laptops, jewelry, wads of cash, in your carry-on and keep it glued to you like a lifeline. Checking a bag? Lock it up tight. Those TSA zippers aren't bulletproof, but they'll slow down sticky fingers and stop your stuff from spilling out. One ex-thief even tipped the game. Skip the blinged-out suitcases. Fancy bags are like catnip to crooks. But don't go too cheap either. Those flimsy ones bust open when they're tossed, practically begging to be looted. Go for something sturdy, plain Jane, middle of the road. Looks so boring, they won't even glance twice. Stay sharp, pack wise, and you'll touch down with your gear and your grin still intact. If you've ever waited at baggage claim, heart thumping, only to see your suitcase roll out like it just got flattened in a bar fight, scratched, dented, half dead, well, it probably did. Here's the raw deal. Baggage handlers are racing the clock like mad, and they're not exactly cuddling your gear. An ex-worker spilled the madness, and it's wild. It's no sleepy job down there. It's a full-on suitcase slugfest. He saw bags flung like Olympic javelins, booted for laughs, and get this, if a liquor bottle cracked open, one guy slurped it right off the mess. Whew, lucky you if you skipped the pricey stuff. Oh, it gets creepier. Some of these goofs poked through undies for twisted kicks. Your bag? Done for from the jump. Now, in their defense, it's not always just chaos for fun. Nuts schedules mean they're chucking bags like it's a frantic relay race. Either way, your stuff takes the beating. So here's the play. Grab a tough suitcase. Don't cheap out on some flimsy trash that'll rip apart mid-toss. And ditch the flashy designer look. Those dazzling divas scream "smash me" to the wrecking crew and the thieves. Aim for Goldilocks. Sturdy enough to survive the thrashing, boring enough to fly under the radar. Snap a lock on it. Sure, it's not a vault, but it'll stump the sneaky hands hunting a fast grab. Ace this, and your bag might just roll back to you alive. Dinged up, sure, but with your loot intact. That's a win worth toasting. What happens when your luggage pulls a Houdini? Brace yourself. It might just land on an auction block. Losing your checked bag is the kind of travel horror story that keeps you up at night. Nobody's volunteering for that mess. But if your suitcase ghosts you, here's the jaw dropper. Some deal-hungry bidder could be fighting over it instead of it fading into oblivion. Crazy, right? Yep, airports and airlines don't just shrug at unclaimed bags. Give it a few months with no takers, and boom, they're up for grabs, sold to the highest bidder in blind auctions. Picture this, folks shelling out cash for sealed suitcases, gambling on jackpot hauls, laptops, cameras, or landing someone's sweaty gym socks. In the US, Miami Airport runs these sales twice a year, charging a fee to let bidders duke it out over mystery loot. The UK's all in too. Blind buys where you bet big, praying for bling, but maybe bagging crusty undies instead. Now, they're not tossing everything into the fray. Big ticket or awkward items, like passports, fat cat jewelry, or your rhinestone-studded briefs, get yanked out first. Makes sense. Who's gonna peddle your glittery unmentionables in public? But here's the kicker. Not all lost bags hit the local auction. In the States, heaps of orphaned gear get trucked off to the Unclaimed Baggage Center in Scottsboro, Alabama, the holy grail of lost loot. This place is nuts. 5,000 to 7,000 fresh finds flood the racks every day. Fresh to them, at least, since it's all from some unlucky soul who kissed it goodbye. Clothes, books, gadgets, you name it, all dirt cheap. It's such a vibe that bargain hunters flock there like it's a thrift store Disneyland. Imagine snagging your own lost gear for pennies. So if your bag ditches you and you pocket the airline's payout, here's a weird silver lining. Your stuff might be strutting into a new life, up for auction or lounging on a shelf in Alabama's lost and found empire. Got a hunch? Hike down to Scottsboro and bid on your long-lost stash, reuniting with your suitcase like a plot twist in a thrift shop thriller. Right, you've dodged the wallet-draining duty-free traps and outsmarted the baggage bandits. Nice work. But what if you're stuck with a long layover, bleary-eyed, and the airport's buzzing like a beehive on steroids? Don't just slump over a hard bench scrolling your phone. Here's a game changer. Some airports are hiding little zen oases right under your nose, and they're pure gold if you know where to look. The catch? They're on the down low. Too many folks sniffing them out, and poof, there goes the peace. First up, prayer rooms, or call them meditation nooks if you're not the praying type. Tucked away in quiet corners, these spots are like secret hideouts at tons of US airports. No neon signs screaming, "Come on in," just a chill space to breathe, pray, or zen out. No religious ID required. Then there's the coolest trend yet, yoga studios, right in the terminal. San Francisco's airport got so swamped with stretchy travelers, they had to slap in a second yoga room. Those sun salutations are a hit. Chicago's O'Hare and Midway have mats ready. Burlington's tiny airport's in on it, and Dallas-Fort Worth even throws up video guides so you can downward dog like a pro. Nothing beats unkinking your spine after hours squished in coach. Trust me, your back's begging for it. But wait, it gets wilder. Gyms and secret snooze pods. Baltimore, Washington's got a full-on gym, treadmills, weights, the works, to sweat out that jet lag. Vegas McCarran Airport? They're next level. A gym with steamy showers to rinse off those casino vibes, plus private bedrooms you can snag for just $5 an hour. $5. We're talking a cozy nook to crash in the chaos, nap, recharge, or hey, it's Vegas, so what happens in there stays in there, right? These spots are like buried treasure. Most folks don't even know they're there, which keeps them blissfully uncrowded. So, next time you're twiddling your thumbs on a layover, don't just haunt the food court or sigh at the gate. Dig around, check the airport app, ask a worker, scope the signs. You might score a yoga mat to stretch your woes away, a quiet prayer room to reset, a gym to burn off that pretzel, or a dirt-cheap nap pod to snooze like a king. These hidden gems turn a soul-crushing wait into a mini vacay. Because who says airports have to be a grind? Find them, and you'll be grinning through that next connection. No stress in sight. There you go, your cheat sheet to owning the airport. From dodging cash traps to busting bandits and snagging Zen hacks, you're not just surviving, you're crushing it. No more overpriced scams or sneaky thieves. You're the boss now. Like this, share it, subscribe. More tricks coming to keep you winning.